I'm Heydi, and this is my story. My life before Jesus was, I don't even know how to explain how it was, because from a young age, I always felt like Jesus was there with me. Even before my mom took me to church or I was introduced to church, I always felt like there was a presence there with me, guiding me and protecting me. I was always praying and talking to God as a child, even though no one had ever told me that He existed or that there was God. My mom was a Catholic, but we never went to church. She never spoke to me about Jesus. So I really was not introduced through her. When we came to the United States, I'm originally from Venezuela. I was 11 years old, and we were struggling because it was just my mom and I. My mom would cry, and she didn't know that I knew, and it was a very tough time in our lives. One day we went to the supermarket where we used to live in Queens, and this lady just came up to my mom and said, "God put in my heart to speak to you. He's telling me that you are struggling, and I just want you to know that my husband and I are here and we are going to help you." They invited us to Highland Church, and it was like I was home. I felt like God was there. And from that moment on, it was like we were starting a new life. My mom used to pretty much be an alcoholic. One day, after going to church for like 3 months, I saw her throwing out all the alcohol and all the cigarettes, and she just devoted her life to Christ. And the pastor did a call, an altar call, and he was calling people who wanted to give their lives to Jesus. And my mom got up, and I got up, and she said to me, "Don't do this just because I'm doing it. You have to feel it in your heart." And I said, "I feel it in my heart." And we both walked to the altar together, and they prayed over us. I was 11 years old when that happened. As I grew older, I always kept my focus on doing what was right, trying to do best by other people, because so many people loved us and helped us that we felt that we needed to do the same. So my mom and I started helping other people that were like in the same boat as us, and we started telling them about Jesus and what Jesus had done in our lives. And later on, when I went to high school and I met my husband, Andre, he was a believer. He believed in God and he believed in Jesus, but he was part of a ministry in the Catholic Church. He was very devoted to the Catholic Church. And one day I invited him to my church just as an invitation, not trying to convert him or anything like that. And he really felt God's presence there. And he started feeling in his heart that he had to leave his church because he was seeing things that were not agreeing with his beliefs. So he decided to come over to my church and become a member of our church. We continued walking with Jesus, and when we moved here to Glen Cove, it was really hard on us because we didn't know what we were going to do about church, because we were so involved in our church. And for a while we were commuting. For like a year we would just commute, but the commute was a lot on a Sunday. And we decided that we needed to find a home church here in Glen Cove. And we were driving one day and we saw Glen Cove Christian Church, and we're like, "Oh, look, let's just try it. They're non-denominational Christians. Let's see how we feel." And we thought we were going to be visiting so many churches, but the first church we visited was Glen Cove Christian Church. And when we came in, we felt so welcome. We felt as if we were family, like we had been there all the time. And I just remember feeling like, again, like I was home. And Andre and I looked at each other and we were like, this is where we need to be. This is where Jesus wants us to be. And that's where we have been ever since. So when people ask me about Jesus, I just use my own life example to talk about him, and I do it in love. And I think that's the way that you should talk about my Jesus. I'm Heydi, and this is my story.